Broadcasting live from station WDWL TV, located on the Grumpy Vulture Boulevard. From Studio A, located on Grumpy Old Man Road. It's the Grumpy Old Man. Oh, me. And the Grumpy Vulture Show. Take your bow. Another graceful one, huh? Okay. Well, friends, it seems the gifts just keep coming. Yes, today I got another birthday present. Oh, I'm hoping that it's one a day for the whole month, but we're not going to get greedy. Turn the light on. There we go. Camera light. I don't know what it does, but now, behind the scenes, one of my favorite lines is like, "Oh, that's such a shit show." I don't use it much on air, but off air, well, it seems I'm not the only one that basically uses that term, because my buddy said, "Look at the hat that I found for you. Shit show crew member." I love it. Plus, it'll keep my bald head warm in the cold weather. Yeah, shit show crew member. So, that was a nice surprise today. Although, I did get another surprise that kind of made me feel sad. It seems that evidently I pissed off a subscriber, because my week of 51 subscribers turned into 50 again. Yeah, lost a subscriber, pissed somebody off evidently. Either that or they were like, "Oh God, I've had enough of this asshole. Unsubscribe." But yeah, I'm back to 50. But hey, can't win them all. Something ain't right here. Hold on. I need to turn this. There we go. Maybe a tad more. I discovered one thing. The way this microphone is set up. If you talk on the sides, it isn't stereo. If you talk here and here, it's stereo. Over on the side, it's mono. Evidently, the way the cardioid head is set up, it's not like the blue microphones. The blue microphones are very unique, as they have 4 heads inside the mic. The MXLs have one large head, and it's on either side. Where the blue microphones, you can adjust it. I'll show you on one of the blue mics when I've got it. There's different adjustments. You can adjust it for straightforward, backward, forward and backward, or 360. The way the mic is set up, you either talk in the front or the back. If you talk on the side, now you might not hear it so much. I can make it out in my headset. But yeah, you have to talk directly into either the front or the back of the microphone. So that's why I had to make a little turn there, because I heard it kind of going in and out. technical stuff that you really probably don't care about, you know. And then I had a friend email me this morning and said, was that a real video you were watching yesterday with the people with the mason jars? I said, yeah. And then I sent her a link so she could watch it herself. Yeah, there are idiots out there. And I'm not going to go any farther because I don't want to ruin my appetite. But yeah, there are idiots out there that like to consume, we'll say, bodily fluids. And it's a worldwide thing. Not just in Florida. I don't know where it originated. Like I say, the one video I watched, they were interviewing, you know, they had people Australia, England, Canada. So I guess there's drinkers all around the world, we'll say. And I don't mean, you know, beer, wine, whiskey, no. They're consuming something I wouldn't want over the rocks, so let me say that. It's amazing how many people I piss off by doing this. They're like, must you? Well, no, not necessarily, but it's part of my shtick here. You know, the coffee cup, the bird, the smoke. I was just going to say the glasses. Hold on. I knew something wasn't feeling right on my face. Yes, Grumpy has special glasses for the stream. The George Burns glasses. I should have a cigar like George Burns. People give me hell. George Burns, 99 years old. He still smoked 10 cigars a day at 99. Now, these aren't exactly like his. His were just a tad smaller, and they were a tortoiseshell. I couldn't find any like his. I always liked his style of glasses, them round ones. It was part of his shtick, too. Plus, now, part of my new shtick is right here. The jackalope. Yeah. I gotta put him in a more prominent spot so you can really get a good look at him. I was gonna put him over here, but the bird's over here. And I don't want to hear it from, management. Oh, you put a trophy instead of the bird. Well, I could always make the bird into a trophy. Oh, just kidding. Yeah. He saw that yesterday, scared the shit out of him. He started to shake like hell. I said, well, you could become one of them too. I think it's kind of neat. Like I say, we got to put it in a more prominent spot so you can get a good look at him. Yeah, it's hard to see the antlers. But he does. He has a nice set of antlers. They should be bigger. He must have been a young one. I'll have to tell my buddy next time he goes hunting, get me a larger one. One with a bigger rack. Although maybe that's the size they are. I don't know. I don't know his age. Kind of hard to tell on rabbits. Or jackalope rabbits or whatever. I'll have to ask my buddy, do they have one with bigger antlers? Next time you go hunting, get me one with bigger antlers. Although if he was in a more prominent spot, like I say, I've got to maybe if I get him mounted over here on this wall, you'll get a better. But I wanted to hang it up, show it off, along with my red microphone and my orange microphone. I hope I get an answer from MXL tomorrow. I'd like to know if they made them in other colors and how many. I was searching today, eBay and Amazon and a couple other sale sites that I know of, and nope. Didn't have any in color at all. So evidently these must have sold out last year or the year before. I'll have to ask my buddy's wife if there's any receipts anywhere as to when, because usually if he spots something right away, he would buy it. I think he told me once before when he was buying some of these MXL microphones. It wasn't last year. Maybe it was. Hopefully she can find a receipt. I'd like to know, because that way, I would kind of know what areas to search for possibly used ones or people that are selling them, never used, still in the box. It's strange that he didn't keep the boxes for these. Although 90% of his mics, if you went over to the cabinet in his studio, it was like microphone heaven in there. I never saw so many microphones in one spot. I only took a few. I didn't want to get greedy. Why have them just sitting around and not using them? See, originally I wasn't going to even use them. And I was like, he bought them for a purpose. Even though he didn't use them, he meant for them to be used. So I'm very appreciative that when his wife found these, she thought of me. I hope he didn't have them put away for somebody else, because, boy, I'm pissing somebody off right about now. They're like, those were supposed to be mine. Well, no names on them. Just mics in little boxes. I know it's a safety thing, but it irritates the shit out of me. Because back in the day, if you were dumb enough to smoke in bed and you fell asleep with a cigarette in your mouth, you woke up on fire. So, the government told the manufacturers, hey, put something in to make them go out. The only problem is this brand, they go out like instantaneously. My Louis Ducats. LD. When I go in to purchase my cigarettes, the guy behind the counter immediately goes, oh, LD's for DL. Yep, LD's for DL. Even his little kids, they're a riot. His daughter must be like 4 years old. And she has a little step stool so she can see over the counter. And the one day I come in and he was doing something with lottery tickets. And the little cutie went, DL's here for his LDs. I laughed so hard I almost pissed myself. about smart kids. She's usually at the other end of the counter at a table doing homework and stuff. She got a good ear. She paid attention when I come in, although I probably scare the shit out of her when I come in. She's like, oh, I got to remember LD's for DL so we can get the hell out of the store real fast. But yeah, the one day she's standing at the counter, turns to Dad and goes, DL's here for LD. Next thing she'll be ringing the cash register. Smart little kids. Either that or I scared them to the point that when I come in, they want me to get out in a hurry. Get them LDs. DL's here. Put them on the counter. She ducks. Did he leave yet? Yes, okay. She comes back up. Whew. That guy's scary. Nah, I think she gets a kick out of me. Either that or she wants to kick me. One of the two. I don't know. But she little cutie. She's about 3 foot tall. That's why she needs a step stool to see over the counter. I'm really happy to see that they have built such a good business at that store. Because for the longest time, there was a big turnover of owners. Nobody could make it work. I think part of it is the personality of the two brothers. You know, they make you welcome to come in the store. They make you feel like a valued customer. Where you go in some stores and, you know, it's like, come on, make your purchase. And then get out. It used to be a meat market. I told a story before. Yeah, Michael's Square Deal was a meat market when I was like 5, 6, 7 years old. It's changed hands many times over the years. Of course, you know, it's tough for a mom and pop store to survive today. That's why I'm so happy to see that they're making a go of it. They have a big customer following, they really do. I'm glad to see it. Plus, they're the type where if you ask them to get something that they're not carrying, they will go out of their way. I remember one day there was a guy asking for a specific beer that they didn't carry. And he told the guy, if I can get it, it'll be here next week. And it's been there ever since. So, you know, they know how to cater to customers. I've seen, you know, like the guy across the street. Oh, I quit going in. It was the same thing. Customer asked, how come you don't carry such and such beer? Well, nobody's ever asked for it. Did he say, I'll get it for you? No. Well, nobody's ever asked for it. A good proprietor will say, hey, I'll go out of my way and try to get it for you, even if you're the only customer that's going to buy it. Now, I don't know how many people buy that particular beer, but I see it on the shelf in the cooler every time I go in. Although, beer's not like bread or lunch meat where it's going to spoil unless you keep it in the sun. But it's nice to see a mom and pop store thriving. I mean, that store is keeping two families going because it's the two brothers that own it. If they weren't, making enough money, it'd be up for rent again. They've been there like 5, 6, 7 years now. And I notice between the parking lots of the two stores, theirs is always full, where the guy across the street is really spotty. So I think he's kind of hanging on by the skin of his teeth across the street. But I know he's kind of a jerk. My opinion. He ran me off. He was... Before the LDs, I was smoking a brand of cigarettes called This. Yeah, THIS, This. And I come in one day and he didn't have them. And I said, well, when you get your delivery? Oh, I can't carry them no more. The cigarette rep told me. I said, what do you mean the cigarette rep told you? Well, the cigarette rep for this certain brand of cigarettes told him that he would lose his discount if he kept carrying that brand of generics. Same thing with the LDs. So I go across the street, and of course, the two brothers, they got LDs all the time. And I says to them, you know, the guy across the street quit carrying them because the cigarette rep threatened him. He said, well, the cigarette rep threatened me too. I said, really? I said, how come you're carrying them and he's not? He said, because I went over the cigarette rep's head and said, hey, your cigarette rep is threatening me. It's my store. I can carry whatever I want. And her boss said, she's not supposed to be doing that. You can carry any cigarette you want in your store. You own it. I said, well, interesting. So, you know, I think what she did was she wanted that section, you know, because you have full flavor kings and hundreds. And then you have, you know, lights, kings and hundreds. You know, you got a section of maybe 10 slots. Well, I think she wanted it to expand, you know, her cigarette line. Well, how many rows of Newports do you need? But she scared him, and he lost a customer, and I'm sure he lost more. Although I know it's a cutthroat business, you know. I really go off on a tangent at times, jeez. But I gotta say, last night my pizza was delicious. It tastes even better when it's $4 cheaper. Yeah, every now and then they run that special. I'm like, oh boy, specialty pizza, $4 off, whoopee. Although I only treat myself once a month. Gotta watch how I spend my money. Because there were a couple of months they didn't run that special. And I was kind of getting pizza withdrawal. Now there's other places I could get pizza. I just prefer this shop over the rest of them. There's a couple around here that taste like cardboard with ketchup on them. Oh, I don't know how people can continuously buy from the same place. There's one in the neighborhood here. A friend of mine was raving about it. He goes, oh, you got to try his pizza. So I did. And I says to my buddy, what's so special about that pizza? To me, it tastes like cardboard with ketchup. Oh, your palate is bad. It's excellent pizza. I said, well, I know what my palate's like. I don't know about yours. If you think that's excellent pizza, maybe you should try somebody else's sometime. But, oh, he just raves about it. Oh, not for Grumpy. No. We used to have one shop up in the shopping plaza. Oh, they made the best pizza. Oh my God. And then they went out of business. And I was like, gee, the place was always busy. How could it go out of business? Well, it boiled down to Mr. Landlord getting greedy. You know, this is why that plaza is 50% empty. Because he's greedy. He wants top buck. You know, it's like my grandfather always used to say, I'd like to make a little bit of money off a lot of people than a lot of money off a few people. And that's what's happening with him. You know, he wants $1 gazillion per square foot in his stores. Then he wonders why 50% of the plaza is empty and why it looks like a ghost town. It really surprises me that the stores that are in there continue to renew a lease every year. Because I'm sure he's not sitting there going, oh, I won't raise your rent this year. You know, it's sad because back in the day, that plaza was completely rented. Every store. The plaza was busy. I could remember on Saturdays when everybody was, because we had Fisher's and we had A&P, and both those grocery stores were booming. And then A&P left Ohio. I don't know why. I don't even know if they're still in business. And Fisher's got bought out. But every store was rented. There were booming businesses in every store. And then the plaza got sold to this guy. And you come in, money, money, money. Well, yeah, I know he's got a mortgage on the plaza that he needs to pay. But gouging everybody, that's not the answer. It's sad because that plaza and the plaza up on Lorraine, they both, back when I was growing up, oh my God, they were the places to be. Not today. Both plazas, 50% occupancy. They're both like ghost towns. It's sad. Not to mention all the mom and pop places that closed up. We used to have a shitload, man. There were mom and pop places everywhere. Like I say, just in this neighborhood, the little local neighborhood, grocery store. There was almost one on every corner. my uncle was down the street. When he retired, he just closed up. But there were several others that just couldn't make it because, big corporations were putting them out of business. But yeah, when I was growing up, oh, God. Like I say, there was a mom and pop on every corner. Almost. Next time I drive through the neighborhood, I'm going to count how many there were that slowly got put out of business. A lot of the stores are just boarded up. I know one got turned into an office. And another one, they converted it to apartments. But there's, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4 I can think of right now that once the owners went out of business, they just boarded the places up and never again. It's sad when I drive past them. I say, oh, I remember that one, I remember that one, and I remember that one, because I used to pass them walking home from school. If one didn't have the candy we wanted, we went to the other one, and if that one didn't have it, we went to that one. Because that was the big thing. Go in for candy and a bottle of pop. Let's ruin our teeth right from the start. Of course, that's when candy and pop were way cheaper than what they are now. God, $3 for a goddamn candy bar. And it's half the size of what it was when I was growing up. God, back in the day, 15 cents got you a bag full of candy. Now 15 cents doesn't even pay the tax on candy. As a matter of fact, I screwed up. Usually the day after Halloween I go in because Halloween candy's usually marked down, Well, usually the first day it's 75%, They mark it down 25%. Then the second day they mark it down 50%. And that's when I go in. Oh boy. And then if there's a third day, it's even cheaper. But it's the shit that's picked over. Candy I wouldn't eat. My favorite is Kit Kats. Oh, I love Kit Kats. Of course, now the trick-or-treat size is about the size of a postage stamp. So I got to eat about 12 of them in order to taste them. Yeah, it's amazing. The size of the candy shrunk, and the price blew up. It used to be able to get a bag, like the Halloween candy bags, for like $1, $1.15, $1.20. Now $5, $6. It's amazing people can afford to give out candy for trick-or-treating. Not grumpy. I couldn't even tell you how many kids we had in the neighborhood this year. I don't even pay any attention to it anymore. But back growing up, oh, geez. Every single house gave out candy. And there were tons of kids. Matter of fact, up the street from me, I told this story before, was a retired couple. They were both college professors. And every Halloween, they had a neat back porch. It was all screened in on the back end of their house. And of course, you couldn't do it today, but they used to have a big bowl, a punch bowl of cider. And everybody got a cup of cider. And then there was always cookies, so you got cider and a cookie. And then when you finish your cider and your cookie, Mrs. Gerald used to always say, make sure you get something for your bag. And they gave out the big candy bars, not them little, oh no. Her husband went down to some candy wholesaler